If you're watching this video, then you've probably been looking at the Challenge Trail series. Like the name suggests, the Challenge Trail is a series of caches currently consisting of 53 challenges that must be met in order to log fines on the series. However, unlike the name suggests, this is not a power trail, but we'll get to that in a moment. Local cachers pretty much know the deal, so this video goes to those of you who are coming from out of state, or at least making a decent drive to get here to find these. I'm here to inform you of what to expect from this series should you choose to visit the area. But your journey doesn't start here. It starts on your computer. On every cache listing, you'll find links to the right of the description. That's more than likely where you found the link to this video. Other links will include helpful tools or websites that can calculate your qualifications for that particular cache. The top link will take you to the bookmark list where all the current Challenge Trail caches can be found. Every page also has a little intro right under the banner, but below that is the description of the challenge itself. The rest of the text here is the disclaimers about logging and showing your qualifications. All these caches are rated for the challenges themselves, but you'll find the rating for the physical hide along with any other pertinent info below the links to the right. Not all the helpful info is included in the description. Pay attention to the attributes before making your run on these. Some cachers choose to use the Challenge Trail to fill in grids on their calendar or other stats, and they pick off these fines here and there. But if you're planning on making a solid run on these, you'll need to expect many hours, if not a full day. The trail spans across 2 county parks, Johnson and Millennium, the latter of which covers 1,500 acres, touching 4 cities, and is one of the nation's largest urban parks. The best way to tackle the trail on a full run-through is on bike. Many of the hides are close enough to walk to, but none are within park and grab distance. In fact, you'll only find a few spots to park, and we suggest doing a section of the trail, moving your vehicle, and continuing on to other sections. For the Johnson Park section, we suggest parking at the north lot and working the trail south. The hills are less strenuous this way, and you'll enjoy a nice flat ride back to your vehicle along this path. From there, move to the seasonal parking at Millennium. This is the most central spot for the caches, and most cachers follow the trail as clockwise as much as possible. Though you'll have to figure out your own route because you will be backtracking a little no matter what you do. The other parking area at Millennium is located to the northeast at the furthermost point of the park. Other than your bike and typical caching gear, some other things you'll want to consider bringing, no matter when you go, are water, and lots of it since there are very few spots in either park where water is available. Boots, UV light, flashlight, camera, bug spray, waders, snacks, or a lunch, the list goes on. So when's the best time to head out and tackle the trail? Fall. Cooler weather will grant you a much better experience. The leaves may fall and make some finds more difficult, but you'll be glad not to have to bushwhack certain sections or deal with the ungodly amounts of mosquitoes you'll find otherwise if you went during the warmer months of the year. And you might as well forget about trying in winter. This is Michigan after all. So what else is here in Michigan to plan your trip around? The Grand Rapids area is chock full of places to see, eat, and stay while you're in town. A quick Google search will help you plan your trip. Also, make sure to check out the many other creative caches in the area as well. You'll need to know that most of the hides in this series are meant to fit the challenges that they represent. For instance, if you do the Ultraviolet Challenge, expect to need the obvious equipment. If you do the Poisonous Challenge, expect to find something with leaves of 3. If you do the Underwater Challenge, expect to get wet. And if you do the Tree Climbing Challenge, yep, you guessed it. The caches themselves are not the only challenges you'll encounter along the trail. The terrain is another. In one section, you'll be on a bike path with perfectly mowed grass on either side. In another, you'll be wading waist deep in water. Here's a sample of what you'll encounter out here.
I know about her, isn't it? That's awesome.
The containers along the challenge trail vary from large to micro, but you won't find any nanos out here. Pretty much all the containers are painted with a brown textured paint that blends in very well. Even we have difficulty finding them, and we know where they're hidden. Because we're so fond of this paint job, and this is not a power trail, we ask that you do not replace the containers if you think they're missing. By all means, replace the logbooks, but we'll take care of the rest. If you're absolutely sure that a container is missing, just email us and we'll go check it out. If we can't find it, then we'll let you know and you'll more than likely end up with the find. That's a nice segue into the logging and maintenance of the challenge trail. With all the emails that come into the account for this series, we have set all found it logs to go straight into a folder. The only time we see them is when we go into the folder to check the logs. We're very trusting like that. We do, however, go through the found it logs and weed out those that don't qualify. If you qualify and your name is in the logbook, then it's all good. If we find your name not in the logbook, you'll get deleted, just like any other cache. So basically, we won't automatically see your found log when you log it. We will, however, see every other log type. DNFs, notes, needs maintenance. For instance, if you find one of our caches needs maintenance, and I can't stress this enough, don't rely on your found log to relay that information. Please post a needs maintenance log. That's what it's there for. Also, with the paint job and the various ways these caches are hidden, please don't expect us to run out and check on every DNF that comes through. These aren't meant to be easy finds, and chances are you'll leave the park with a few unfound. And lastly, we don't mind if you post your qualifications ahead of time. Just put a note about it in your found log to make it a little easier for us. And the same goes for finding and signing the containers before you qualify and posting a note on the cache page. Go ahead, we don't mind. There it is. Now that you're prepared with what to expect along the challenge trail, there's nothing to stop you or your group. Speaking of groups, every once in a while I'll gather a bunch of cachers together for a big run on the entire series while I do maintenance. If you want in on that, just keep an eye out for any events that may pop up in the area that mention details of the run, or orchestrate something yourself and let me know and I'll come along. If you got any questions or concerns that we didn't address in this video, just shoot us an email through our caching profile page and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching.